Welcome to Midnight Movie Talk live on this Wednesday night from Los Angeles. Eric Weber here in the MMT hosting chair as we're doing another stream. I didn't expect to do a stream tonight. I'm like, we're going to take the night off. It's good. We'll chill. I'll go to a movie, go to bed early. And then it happened again. Every day. We kind of talked about this last night. This might happen because the floodgates are opening big time on Jonathan Majors. And our big question here tonight, and this is where you guys need to get involved with the chat right now, how much longer can Marvel hold out on Jonathan Majors? Because it's getting bad. Okay, here we go straight to the latest. This is an exclusive from Variety, and you can read the headline there. Jonathan Majors' issues worsen as more alleged abuse victims cooperate with DA's office, exclusive to Variety. And here it is. Sources familiar with the matter tell Variety that multiple alleged abuse victims of Majors have come forward following his March arrest and are cooperating with the Manhattan DA office. Now, the prospect of more women waiting in the wings could mark a dramatic turn in the case and comes on the heels of Majors' publicist and management firm cutting ties with the embattled actor earlier this week. This is what we talked about. This is where it is all coming undone right now. And I want to very much emphasize the importance of something we talked about at the very beginning of this situation that Saturday night when it broke. We told you that the biggest issue for Jonathan Majors, aside from what he's alleged to do, because obviously that's number one, but number two is this guy right here, Tim Nicolai, the theater director in New York, who issued this tweet that night. I'm just going to say this about Jonathan Majors and be done with it. Folks at Yale, where Majors went, and the broader NYC community have known about him for years. He's a sociopath and abuser. And we said, listen, the night that this story broke, we told you that is what's going to sink Jonathan Major. When someone comes out of nowhere, Tim Nicolai in this case, accusing him of being a sociopath and abuser. And he goes on to say, that is how virtually everyone speaks about him. Not like a few. Everyone speaks about Jonathan Majors as a sociopath and abuser. It's a shame it took this long for him to be reported. So that tweet's still there. It's at 2.2 million views. Why is that not higher on the views? Remember, Tim Nicolai made his account private very soon after this whole thing went wild. Like right about when it hit 2 million, it's like, I can't do it anymore. Because I've been there, right? You guys know. You follow me on Twitter. I've been here in the middle of a shitstorm on Twitter. And you're like, I don't want to deal. I'm used to it. I just mute it. But for Tim Nicolai, is like, I don't want to deal. I'm going private. And that's why it got stuck at 2.2 million. This is what we are looking at tonight. This tweet is why we are where we are this evening on Jonathan Majors. That multiple alleged abuse victims have come forward. As you just saw and you heard the other day, on, was it Monday now? It's already Wednesday. It's just every day there's just something new. There's another bombshell in the Jonathan Majors situation. Dropped by the management and PR teams. Then we found out last night that he was dumped from projects and studios are distancing themselves from Jonathan Majors. So here's what I'm going to do, and I want you guys, comments are huge tonight because we've just presented the entire story. This is everything that we know. Outside of, let's go back to Variety and just go a little bit deeper on the article. Jonathan Majors is innocent and has not abused anyone. We have provided irrefutable evidence that the DA office and the charges are false. This is his attorney, Priya Chaudhry. Okay, still denying all this. But the problem is the floodgates have opened. The force field is down. The shields are down and everyone is attacking right now. Okay, now here's what I want to tell you. This whole thing is this film that I'm holding in my hand right now. We talked about this on that Saturday when it broke. I've mentioned it every time that we have done a stream about Jonathan Majors. This film here is exactly what is happening in the Jonathan Majors situation. If you haven't seen She Said is a very strong film about the takedown, finally, of Harvey Weinstein in Hollywood. Now, when you watch She Said, and by the way, that's your homework tonight because this is the situation we're in right now. All you have to do is swap Weinstein for Jonathan Majors. Now, let me explain that. Obviously, they're not the same. We're talking about the idea of one or two people finally stepping forward and bringing down, in this case, the alleged longtime abuser. In the case of She Said, the veritable shitbag of Harvey Weinstein finally taken down. But it took multiple women to finally go on the record and to take him down. If not for those women who initially finally came forward, we might still be dealing with Harvey Weinstein terrorizing Hollywood. And in the Jonathan Majors situation, you had the woman come forward, hear the incident in the taxi, and then multiple other alleged victims now coming forward, Variety reporting that, which is exactly like the film, exactly like the takedown of Harvey Weinstein, in that you have to have some more than one come forward to really make the case to take this person. In Harvey Weinstein's case, obviously Harvey down. In this case, Jonathan Majors, going to be multiple people that make this happen. So the question is this: when is Marvel going to make a move? Because we are so close that it has to happen. I mean, listen, if multiple people are coming forward saying that Jonathan Majors abused them over the years, then there's really no way out for Marvel. And we are sympathetic to Marvel, okay? What we always do here on MMT, it's and most people, don't want to even go here because it's a tough, right? I'm asking you to separate things here. We're asking you to understand the business side of this discussion right now. If you are Disney, Marvel Studios, and you're sitting here on a series in Loki, 6 episodes in the can, ready to go sometime this summer, early fall, Loki Season 2. Do you want to see what the budget of Loki is per episode? Here it is. What do you think it is? What do you think the budget for each? This is higher than I thought. The budget for every episode of Loki is $25 million. Do the math. 6 times 25. Last I checked, $150 million. And that's not even going to include all of the advertising money they're going to spend when this thing hits streaming. So $150 million. Marvel is like, we don't want to pull the plug on this series because sources telling me, no surprise, if you watch Loki, I do not watch Loki, but I know this, that source tells me he's at least 50%, Jonathan Majors, of Loki Season 2. Therefore, you cannot go back in and edit him out. You cannot go back in and edit out the mustache, as we saw with Justice League. It's impossible. You can't do it. You can't get rid. Oh my God, how bad was that in Justice League? Cavill's mustache that he had for Mission Impossible, and they went in, and his lips are all like, oh my God, that was freaky. You can't do that, Jonathan Majors. You cannot Henry Cavill mustache Jonathan Majors out of Loki. So Marvel's like, shit, we just spent $150 million on a series that we have to throw in the dumpster. So I understand Marvel wanting to delay this as much as possible. But what did we say that Marvel should have done the Monday after this whole thing happened? They should have issued a statement that said something like, we are aware of the allegations against Jonathan Majors. We are keeping an eye on the situation, and we are concerned, but yet we'll let the justice be served, and whatever. Listen, I'm just writing on the fly. Something, anything. We have an eye on it. We're aware. Nothing. But now they are literally days, if not hours away from just going, shit, we have no choice here. We have to toss it in the trash. And it's not just that, right? Go back to Variety. Look at, we've got Avengers, the Kang Dynasty coming up. And he was going to make $20 million on this movie, plus the back end. If you don't know what back end compensation is, that is where you get a cut of the profits once it hits a certain number. Robert Downey Jr. made a killing on the Avengers movies in this fashion, taking a good payday, 20 million, 25, 30 million, whatever the number was for RDJ in this case, for Majors, 20, and then he gets the back end. And you know that Avengers, Secret Wars, and also Kang Dynasty were just going to murder at the box office. So that's a lot of cash. We talked about it last night with Jonathan Majors. If this continues the way it's going, he is going to lose 100 million plus minimum, because his career will come grinding to a halt as soon as Marvel dumps him. I mean, he is untouchable for a very long time. Will we see him even come back? Remember Nate Parker, Birth of a Nation, because we're now going to talk about Magazine Dreams. Searchlight, that's a film that they had, Birth of a Nation, back in, was it 2016 or 17? It came out of Sundance, correct? I believe it was Sundance. Maybe it was one of the festivals in the fall. I think it was actually Toronto. Either way, they had this film that Nate Parker accused of rape, if I'm not mistaken. I have it in front of me. I'm 99% certain that's right. And then all of a sudden they had to dump the film. Here they are now. Searchlight's in the same position with their film, Magazine Dreams. They just bought this thing, paid a ton of cash for it at Sundance, and they were anticipating him being a Best Actor candidate come this fall. And right now, that ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. They're not going to release the movie. So Searchlight, owned by Disney, is dumping cash. Marvel is going to lose $150 million. And not just the money, it's also, think of the storylines that are tied into Loki that now have to be tossed in the trash. And it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Your comments. Now, if you want to get in, do it with a super chat, because I promise you this, we're not going long tonight. This will be a tight stream. I said 30 minutes last night. We went an hour. This is not going to go an hour. There's no chance it's going an hour tonight. So get in. We go quick. We go hard. And you just got there's the lay of the land. How much longer can Marvel hold on? How much can they continue to, this thing is about ready to break. The dam's about ready to just absolutely just smash. It's okay to laugh. Super chat. They will pull a spacey plumber like they did for All the Money in the World, right? That's a film. It's 6 episodes of a show. Granted, the runtime on what's a Loki runtime? 40-some minutes, I would assume. It's not a 30. It's probably a 40. So you're looking at 240 minutes. That's a lot. That's a lot of siege. Man, that's a lot of money. That's so much cash. You might as well just reshoot the whole thing. But this is why the story is so riveting. Because we are watching one of the biggest collapses in the history of Hollywood unfold right in front of us. And think about the ramifications of this. Now, whenever you are casting anybody in anything, you have to go back and look at their history way back. Not like 6 months. You have to go back years. There's going to be all these people behind the scenes doing way more due diligence than they did now with Jonathan Majors. But I don't blame Marvel. I don't blame the studios in this case. Because just like Harvey Weinstein's, this is different for Harvey than it is for Jonathan Majors. Everyone knew about Harvey. Nobody seemed to know about Jonathan Majors except for the theater community in New York and obviously the Yale community when he was there. If Tim Nicolai is telling the truth, which I am to assume that it's close enough to it. As such, the studios really didn't have a reason to go back and look at Jonathan Majors going back to 16, 17, 18. They were going off Jonathan Majors off of the Last Black Man in San Francisco, okay? And then also Lovecraft after that. No one was really worried about this. I mean, look at Jonathan Majors. He was just like the cover, on the cover of all these magazines as the guy dressed feminine. Oh, there's a great tweet on that. Let me pull this up. I want to mention this. This is a tweet that I thought was actually really good. Just based on if this ends up being the case. This is simply TC. Take a look at this. Okay, so here's the tweet. This is simply TC, and here it is. What I find scariest about Jonathan Majors was Pham was positioning himself as the mascot of gentle masculinity. He was soft, sensitive, strong, safe, and unafraid to wear pink, all while beating women on the low. That was extremely calculated. Well, like we said, remember the pictures of Jonathan Majors, dressed in very feminine outfits, and then you look at what the allegations are in this tweet. I mean, it's pretty much dead on if it's true. So everyone's piling on now. Everyone's piling on. Marvin, I appreciate the super chat. I'm going to bring this up tomorrow when we have a regular show. Marvin, I will absolutely do whatever you want to do tomorrow. Tonight is only about, even in the super chats, guys, I got to do it. Only about Jonathan Majors, just because I just want to get this, really focus on that tonight. But Marvin, tomorrow, I'll bring it up tomorrow. If I don't, just bring it in and I'll bring it in for free. I mean, obviously, I appreciate the super chat anytime. Let's continue here. Let's look through the chats, find what I got here. I did not go see a movie tonight because I was getting ready for this. I wanted to go see a movie, but I didn't do it. Back-to-back MMTs. I didn't think I was gonna have to do a show, and then here it is. It's what? I mean, we're gonna be back tomorrow night talking about Evil Dead Rise, and the way it's going, we're gonna end up talking about Jonathan Majors as well. But, okay, what percentage of Marvel's expected audience wouldn't watch a movie because Major's in it? Greasy Guido. It's a fun one, too. Listen, it doesn't matter. Because we live now in outrage culture. And I'm not, listen, just let's make sure we're going to get it all out there, because most people wouldn't even go where I'm going to go, and that's why we do what we do here, because you just have to be unafraid and you talk about it. You just don't go. I'm not going to worry about people taking it out of context. I'm going to explain it to you. Obviously, if Jonathan Majors is guilty of what he's accused of abusing women, choking, God knows what else, putting your hands on a woman, then that is heinous, and there's really no redemption for that. And we talked about it last night with Ezra Miller, and we can talk that a little bit tonight about that, about the choke slam in the bar. I mean, there's definitely double standards because Ezra Miller is still in the Flash. We talked about why that's the case versus Jonathan Majors, but it doesn't matter what percentage of Marvel's expected audience would or would not watch the show because of that. The PR backlash is something that Disney and Marvel don't want to deal with. And if you want to talk about PR backlash right now, there's no more acute case than looking at Bud Light in that Dylan Mulvaney, whatever it is. I don't even know. I don't know the name. But I know the story enough, right? Outraged a whole bunch of people saying, why are you have a can of Bud Light in Dylan's hand? And so listen what happened. People go crazy. In this case, Disney's already on the hit list of a lot of parents. If you haven't been following that, I know if you're a film Twitter person, you're not paying attention to it. But I'm just telling you, there's a segment of the population that's already not happy with Disney. So all of a sudden, if you have a serial abuser starring in your show or in your movie, it's a headache they don't want to deal with. They're just not going to do it. They're not going to do it. John, each drop from production means Majors has no chance at theatrical stardom. This is game over for Majors. If I had to say, right, we always look into the crystal ball. We're not always right, okay? we try. We do our best. When you're trying to predict the future, doesn't always work out. But in this case, when we are talking about Jonathan Majors, if he is guilty of what he's being accused of, it's going to be a very, very, very long time before we see him again. And that is the tale that makes this such a hard thing to not discuss, such a hard thing to not be fascinated by, because we saw Majors ascend in 2023 in particular, like meteorically, right? I mean, we haven't seen anything like this to go from Creed 3, massive box office success, Ant-Man, boom, boom, boom. It's just, he just rose, his profile in Hollywood rose to a level that we would be talking about Jonathan Majors as a legitimate best actor candidate for Magazine Dreams later this year, just based on hype alone. And if you don't believe me about hype, what film won Best Picture last year? That was all about hype. Everything, everywhere. That was a hype win. That was not a quality win. Don't even get me started, guys. I won't do it. So Majors, even if the film, and I haven't seen Magazine Dreams, I've heard it in some very polarizing things, doesn't matter. We live in a world now where the hype drives the result. So if the hype is big on Jonathan Majors, Magazine Dreams was a shoo-in. That's why Searchlight bought the film, because they knew that they had a really good shot at a Best Actor nomination. And all that does is drive eyes to the project. Now Searchlight is like, shit, we just blew. It had to be at least 10 million on the sale, is my guess. Let me see if I can find the number. If you know, put in the chat. It's got to be 10. Out of Sundance, they go into the room, they start bidding, knowing that Jonathan Majors would be a Best Actor candidate. The number's going to go at least 15. I would think 10 to 15 minimum, because the value of that Best Actor nomination alone is going to drive that up. Netflix would pay for it just to have the nomination. Don't get me started on Netflix. I'm not doing it tonight. Not going to do it. So many studios and so many jobs are affected by what Jonathan Majors is alleged to have done over the years. And it does get back to what we said from the night this whole thing broke. It's Tim Nikolai that was the undoing of Jonathan Majors, beyond, obviously, the acts that he is alleged to have done. It takes just one person with knowledge that can bring you down, and it's over. And for Jonathan Majors, this is a fascinating fall from grace that we're witnessing right now. And someone just asked in the chat, are we going to mention? Yes, we are. I can't. The reason I can't not mention this film is because what's happening is this film. It's this film. We are watching Jonathan Majors in a combination of Tar and She Said. That's it. These two films, watch them and then apply Jonathan Majors to both of them. And that is what we're living through right now. This is the actual behind the scenes, and this is the actual story that we're going to watch. Jonathan Majors, if this continues, he's going to be playing an orchestra in the middle of Vietnam, or wherever that was. Was it? I don't know if did we ever learn where it was in the Tar? He's going to be conducting the orchestra for the nerd convention in Vietnam. I want a thumbs up for that. We're doing a serious topic, and we're not. Here come all the haters. Look at him, he's making fun of all the abuse. No, we're trying to lighten up a very serious situation, and yet it's acutely accurate. We are watching Tar in real life with Jonathan Majors. That's what we're watching right now. And behind the scenes, She Said. That is absolutely worth 17 thumbs up from each of you. Every single one of you. Luke, welcome to the channel. The writer's strike affecting the Avengers and other Marvel products is supposed to be involved with will give Marvel more time to recast, assuming the strike happens. Strike's crazy, right? The WGA strike, when and if that happens, looks like it's going to happen. This town grinds to a halt. I mean, you don't have writers, you do not have movies and shows. It's over. So the one thing I wish is that the writer's strike would have happened before Ari Aster wrote Beau is Afraid. I knew I'd be able to get it in this stream without talking about Beau is Afraid. Thank God, why couldn't the writer's strike have happened right in the middle of Ari writing that shit film? Listen, but Kusma, listen. This is why we talk about the nuance and the different. I'm not saying Jonathan Majors is Harvey Weinstein. What we're saying is it takes one or two people to finally come forward and attach their name to allegations to bring someone down. That is what this is with Jonathan Majors, and that's what happened. If you've watched She Said, that's what happens to Harvey Weinstein. You need to watch the film. Don't take it literally. Take it as one or two people to bring down a major, one of the biggest players ever in Hollywood, Harvey Weinstein, would not have been taken down if not for these women finally going on the record. And with Jonathan Majors, the same thing. If Jonathan Majors does not have multiple accusers coming forward, as Variety is reporting right now, then he is still doing what he allegedly has been doing for years. Just like Harvey Weinstein. You understand that. Please do not pretend. I will not be a part of anyone being disingenuous with not understanding exactly what I'm saying, because you know damn well what I'm saying about that. That's what we do here. Sorry. We've talked about Harvey Weinstein as a shitbag of a human being, but also really good about telling directors that their films are too long and you're going to cut it. Those are two separate things. You have to understand how to get there with your mind and not be offended by what I just said. You have to get there. If you can't, then you don't watch. That's all I got to say. Do not watch the channel, because we're going to challenge you and we're going to ask you to be able to handle that. And I know you can if you are able to just stand back and understand what we're trying to do here. You'll get it and you won't freak out about it. And hopefully you weren't Kuzma. I didn't mean to go off on you like that, Kuzma, but you understand. The longer Marvel waits to release a statement, the worse they look. It's already so late. It's already so late that I don't even know. I don't even know if it matters. I mean, obviously it matters. They got to say something, but they missed the chance. They should have come out the day after. It's a ton of money. Shooksy. It's a ton of cash. I mean, it's $150 million on Loki. Yeah, yep, that's true. Bo is afraid, $35 million. And one episode of Loki's $25. I haven't watched Loki, but I'll bet you any episode of Loki's better than Bo is afraid. We're not doing it. I can't do it. $25 million for 40 minutes. So yeah, so that is 240 minutes. So you're looking at 4 hours, right? 4 hours of Loki. You're not going to go through, well, I mean, you could. 4 hours of a series that you have to go through and digitize Jonathan Majors out and put in someone. That's not going to happen. The series is done. They're going to have to reshoot. 100%, Eddie. They're going to have to reshoot it. You can't just put him in. You cannot do the Henry Cavill mustache. It doesn't work. You guys saw Justice League. Did it work? Did the mustache work in Justice League? Hell no, it didn't. Hell no. Phantoma. I'll be deciding my disgust with Jonathan Majors once I see the video. For instance, I can't look at Will Smith now, and I've watched and liked several of his movies. Listen, yes, Inter Milan tonight, by the way, with the win. So they're moving on to play Man City in the Champions League. Okay, so listen, it doesn't matter what the video is. I mean, I understand from a personal standpoint, you're saying, like, you won't watch it if the video discusses you, and it doesn't matter from the Marvel's perspective what you think, or, look at Will Smith, right? You could think that the slap is no big deal, but Will Smith's done for now. So Jonathan Majors, doesn't matter what happens. The video doesn't even matter at this point. Enough women come forward, like Variety's reporting, it's done. The video doesn't, it's inconsequential. It really is. Because now it's gone beyond just the woman in the taxi, right, who apparently was working on Ant-Man 3. That was another thing from Variety today. The woman who accused, that Jonathan Majors accused of choking, putting his hands on, apparently she worked on Ant-Man 3. Has any actor ever resurfaced unscathed from a woman beating like this? I don't see him getting back. We talked about it. There is one. Who is it? Help me out, guys. Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller grabbing the woman by the throat. We watched the video a million times last night. Watch the video. It's there. We don't need to show it again. I can't watch it again. He grabs the woman, puts her on the ground. But the reason, again, for those of you who missed the stream, I'll do it as condensed as possible. The reason that Ezra is still working is because that happened right at the beginning of COVID and no one was paying attention. If that happens right now, it is over. Look, Miguel, right here. I know Ezra's at home thanking God for COVID. I think it's double standards, not due to race. As a black man, I think Ezra truly had COVID. Oh, of course, Miguel, we talked about it last night. Fine, since you did the super chat, I will absolutely show it again, because we do need to give it. Here it is. So this is from TMZ. For those of you who've watched it a million times here on the channel, no one else seems to want to talk about this, so we'll just show it again and again and again. I don't care, because it shows that we are being objective here. We are saying that, looky there. Hold on, give me a second. There it is. Nope, wrong tab. There it is. There's Ezra. Ezra grabs the woman by the throat, and he is going to move her towards the floor with force as she hits the ground. Remember that this happened on 4/6/20, right when COVID shit was going down, and y'all were worried about dying if you went outside of your house. That's why we didn't have anyone talking about this because we were fed incessant, if you leave your house, you're going to kill everybody that you know. And when that happens, you don't care about Ezra Miller choke slamming a woman. You weren't even paying attention to TMZ because we had Fauci and crew telling you that if you leave your house, you're going to die. Everybody you know is going to die. Like, smile. You're going to die. That might as well have been what Fauci said throughout 2020. Just looked in the camera and goes, you're going to die. You're going to die. So that's why Ezra Miller is still in his thing. He's still in Flash because COVID saved his ass. Life imitating art. Yes, thank you. And was that not perfect? Guys, seriously, in the comments now. Tar is what is happening now. If you want to watch the rise and fall, spectacular fall of a fictional character, and then pretend that you're watching Jonathan Majors, fire up Tar when the stream's over. Philippines. I knew it was somewhere over. Damn it. Whatever. Jonathan Majors will be conducting an orchestra in the Philippines to a nerd conference. That's what he's going to do. If you haven't watched Tar at this point, I'm not going to pull off. That Tar, now you guys asked for it. Tar's the best movie of last year. There's not even a question about it. Anyone who thinks otherwise is wrong. Wrong. I sound like Ludo from Labyrinth. Wrong. Give me a thumbs up for Ludo. Labyrinth mention here tonight. That is so that's what this show does so well. Random shit out of nowhere. What the hell? Of course it was a mistake. COVID lockdown. No ramifications of that. Nothing happened from that. Tar should have won Best Picture. Miguel, you're already one of my favorite posters. Ken Murray will be one of my favorites always. Kenny, I love you. You're out there. I see you. Solomon's crazy because my friend said that something about Majors bothered her. Well, interesting. Well, here's the thing that bothers you, Solomon. Let me tell you. So when someone is easy to access, this kind of psychopath that he is in Creed 3, you say, wait a second. When you go back and watch Creed 3, you go, wait, was Jonathan Majors just playing himself? Because it looks really easy for him to play a disturbed individual. He's so great in that film, isn't he? So then you say, well, maybe it wasn't that hard because he's not acting. So I don't know. I mean, I never met the guy. He looks physically like the dude is a big. I mean, he's a big physical dude. I would not want to get grabbed by the neck by that guy, whatever he's accused of. Especially if you're like a 100-pound woman. Someone in there's like, aren't you a 100-pound woman? Come on. Someone in the comments come say that. You mean like you, the 100-pound woman? Intern AC, yes, that's right. It is a great time. It is. One more time for those of you. We're only going to go a little longer, by the way. It's already 30. We're going 5 more minutes and the stream's over. 5 minutes. Tonight's shirt's Inter Milan. Because I just hit you with a Ludo from Labyrinth. At that point, it's like it's over. Just close the curtains. The show's done. Do you think his career deserves to be over because of one bad moment? I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at this. Gone Girl, I swear to God. Whatever. They're strong. They're bouncy. AMC, Julian, let's go. I mean, we're at the end of the show. We can do whatever we want. But I do want some love. Please, everybody, right now, you need to like and recommend the video for 2 reasons. 1, we did Ludo, and I gave you the 2 films that Jonathan Majors is starring in right now. Okay? Behind the scenes, actually in front of the scenes, Tar, and behind the scenes, she said. Oh, someone's going to get triggered by this. Even though it's 100% accurate. That's what I love. All my tweets and things are just dead on accurate, but yet people, oh, how dare you say that Ari Aster got $35 million for a film, and, well, every director should be able to make whatever they want. Like those fucking idiots. God darn it. Always a director, too. I love directors, but with $35 million budget, you need to make a film that's accessible to something other than 0.009% of the population. God, Beau is Afraid sucks ass. It's I think it is the worst film Worst film ever made. Hold on. I don't know where. I can't. Someone says Remake. Okay, less than 5. Less than 5, everybody. Get in here to your last thing. Whatever you want to do. We got 5 minutes. We did the story. The story's, we'll be on again tomorrow. We'll be on again tomorrow talking about Evil Dead Rise. You can do whatever you want. But the stream's over tonight. I didn't go to the movies. As I said, I think I already did this already. I didn't go to the movies. I stayed here because I was getting ready for the show. Because it was another Majors night. Majors did another thing. Tomorrow's going to be Marvel drops him. Then we have to do another stream and blow everything else out. It's like breaking news. But we don't do... our breaking news is at 9. Wait, this is going to piss off some people. We are the Tucker Carlson of film. Ah, triggered! Here come the triggered people. Ah, what the hell's going on? Oh my God, he just called himself Tucker Carlson. Holy shit. If we're talking about Labyrinth, our generation has to mention Jennifer Connelly, 100%. She's so hot, right? Not as hot as who in the chat. We're almost done. Who's hotter than Jennifer Connelly, everybody? Come on. Who is it? Who's the hottest of all the actresses out there? I don't care. By the way, do you see me stopping? Where's someone going, look at that creepy guy saying that she's... Whatever. Screw you guys. I don't care. If you think I care about any of that, why would I? Yes, EO. Hey, wait. That's the movie about the donkey. That's vile. Alex, what the hell's wrong with you? That's the donkey movie that was nominated for Best International Feature. That's one of the rudest comments I've ever seen here on the stream. Oh, that's right, Elizabeth Olsen. Even Donald, a new guy. Donald out of nowhere. I don't even. Donald Pills. It's Elizabeth Olsen. There it is. I'm a screw you. I don't care, ZZ. Yeah, I'm not. Sorry, you can't handle it, bro, or whoever you are. What the hell's that picture? Talk about creepy. What the hell's that picture, ZZZ? Are you? No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. When Majors gets kicked out of Hollywood, he can make film remakes of shit. I mean, are you kidding me? Screw you, Kusma. Screw you. We're done. Stream's over. This is it. I didn't play volleyball today. I'm not doing it. All right, guys, we're back tomorrow. That was it. This stream's over. We did it. Everything's there. It's nice and tight. The replay value is much higher the shorter it is. I think if it's a 10-second show, that's probably the best show we've ever done. So at 37 minutes and so, that's very good. It's very good. All right, guys, a good evening to you. We're back here tomorrow. We're going to talk about Evil Dead Rise. I'm excited to see the film. I hope that it is at least very much just feels like an Evil Dead film. That's my fear, that it feels disconnected from the Evil Dead, the origin of that, one of the series formative horror series that I watched when I was growing up. So therefore, I want it to be good. And then we'll also talk about Suzume. I think I said it right. And we have some thoughts on that. And then we'll talk about, hopefully we don't have any more Jonathan Majors. We can take a little break. But the next thing's going to be Marvel says he's done. It's got to be the next thing. Based on where we're headed, that is what is the next thing in line. All right, guys, we're back tomorrow night here on MMT. Thank you for being here. See you tomorrow, 9 o'clock might be a little bit after because Evil Dead starts late. A little bit after 9. Evil Dead Rise, Suzume, and then whatever else we talk about. Maybe more Majors. Good night from Los Angeles, Eric.